joining the live stream or for watching the recording. Today the live stream will be probably a bit more useful because it's again open session Q&As. So for those of you who are joining the live stream, please feel free to ask, please ask your questions related to immigration to the Czech Republic, living here as a foreigner, getting any types of visas or residence permits, citizenship maybe as well, starting a business here, finding accommodation, getting health insurance, whatever questions you might have, I'll try to answer to the best of my knowledge and experience. So maybe before someone joins, look at the view. That's a view from our office, and this is the castle. It's not really that beautiful on the video or in the video, but if you're here in a real life, that's a beautiful view to the castle. And now the sun setting slowly. Yeah, so that was just while waiting for the first questions. So for those of you who has just joined, please ask your questions regarding anything related to moving to or living in the Czech Republic, and I'll be happy to answer those for the next 18.5 minutes. I'll be here for 20 minutes, then I'll go home and sleep. So first question, Jaka Prasad. How to apply blue card if I have free access to labor market in Czech Republic? Do we have special benefits as like employee card? Well, honestly, I don't think there is a version of blue card where you have a free access to the labor market. This is generally only possible for an employee card. So for a blue card, you still need to get the job advertised through your company, get the vacancy number, all that. Mainly because for the blue card, there are some special requirements you need to meet, and having a free access to the labor market is not good enough. You know, you need to have at least bachelor's degree, your salary must be above some limit. So there is no at least we've never seen it. I believe we also discussed it with our lawyers. And I don't think there is a version of a blue card where you can have free access to the labor market. So like a non-dual blue card, as there is a non-dual employee card. Raghan Elhami, yes, hello. Hi Raghan, thank you for joining. Baris Serin, hello Jan, I applied at 24/6. The people who applied, they can see their applications, but I can, why not? Well, it depends where you applied. Depending on the embassy, it might take a couple of weeks before someone even starts checking your application, and it's not the same person, and it's not it doesn't go like the fact that you apply the same day at the same embassy doesn't mean that they will start working on your case on the same day. So the embassy does not make any decisions, so they have to take your documents and physically ship them to the Czech Republic, to the Ministry of the Interior. Then they ship it to different departments, and then within the department there is a manager or supervisor, and then assigns the case to some decision makers, and then the decision maker decides when they actually start working on your case. It's like when they get it, they don't immediately start checking your documents, they will put it on a shelf, and when they get to it, they get to it. And they only assign the case number to you or to your case when they actually start working on that. So doesn't mean anything, it's just how it is. Raghan Elhami, why is it hard at the Egyptian embassy for people, and most of people do great at the visa appointment but also get a denial? Well, this is kind of a general question, and I will give you a general answer. Obviously, like part of the immigration processes is politics. So if some nationalities are denied more than the others, it might be partially because of the politics. Like, for example, we really want Americans to come here, so they have no restrictions, they have plenty of advantages, because we want to have good relationship with the US, because kind of makes sense, it's a big country, big guns, all that. And of course all the other advantages of the US, but I mean, like, from the political view, you want to have US as your allies. But Republic of Congo, for example, not really that much. I don't mean it in any offensive way. It's just like politics, you know. So with the countries where we want to have good relationship with as a country, then we make it easier to get a visa. They might do the same thing for us. And with the countries where we don't really care, we make it more difficult. One thing. Second thing, also some countries or people from some countries are known for trying to cheat the system, fake documents, fake marriages, all that. And if the ministry sees that, for example, like 90% of marriages between Egyptians and Czech citizens are fake, that you just do it to get visas to Europe or to the Czech Republic, then they will make it super difficult for anyone else to get visas from those countries. I'm not saying these numbers are correct or anything like that, but just to give you an idea. What else? Bares, so I applied from Istanbul and my friend too, so they can see there, but I can't. Also, the lady who worked at the embassy said my papers are perfectly done, so I'm a bit worried. Well, yeah, as explained, don't worry, it's completely normal. You can also be approved before the people who already are visible in the system. They might wait like 3 more months before they get approved, or it can be the other way around. They might be approved tomorrow, and it might take like 5 months to use. So it's kind of random. Doesn't mean anything if your name is not in the system yet, or the application number. Shalu Singh, if person moving out of the Czech Republic, he will be able to get his tax return which he paid in this entire working time? I don't think so. First, this is a question for an accountant, not really for me. But why would you get taxes back? You know, you paid it to the Czech Republic budget and it's already spent like a long time ago. So you don't really get any money back, at least from my opinion and my experience. On the other hand, for example, from the Social Security, if you've been paying regularly to the Social Security system, you can get a special confirmation how much you contributed to the system over the years, and then you can potentially use this in your home country or somewhere else towards your pension, for example. So this is possible. So somehow like get a confirmation of how much you paid into the Social Security system and then use it somewhere else, but that you would get some money back, I don't really think so. But again, that would be better to discuss with an accountant, but this is what I know. Hudhaifa Al-Hamad. Sorry for mispronouncing. I've mispronounced all the names here probably, so sorry guys. Does work permit get terminated after leaving the country for 1 to 2 years? I don't know what you mean by work permit. So if you can specify that, let me know. If you leave the country for 1 to 2 years, well, yes, that will. If you mean, for example, an employee card, the maximum validity of the employee card is 2 years anyway. So if you leave for 2 years, that will be expired already. Also, if your purpose of stay here is employment and you're not employed for some amount of time, that will cancel your employee card or blue card as well. So yes, but I don't know really what you mean by work permit. I don't know what kind of visa you have or residence permit you have, what country you leave to, if you're still employed or not. So it sounds like a simple question, but it's not really easy to answer it if I don't have any context to the situation. Sajan STH, sir, I'm working in Qatar, I guess. I got a work permit of Czech Republic. What is the visa ratio of Czech Republic, sir? Guys, why do you still do this? Tell me, why do you like pay someone like 3,000 euros or 900 euros or 5,000 euros, whatever, to get you a work permit or employment contract if you have no idea what comes next? I've seen this like a million times. People pay like whatever amount of money to someone to get them like employment contract in the Czech Republic, and then they contact us or they just like watch my live streams or whatever, and then they find out that they cannot really use the employment contract because there is no way for you to get an appointment, for example, at the Czech embassy, because there is a quota of 0 people who can apply for an employee card. So guys, before you get any work permit or employment contract, or before you pay anyone money to like get you anything like this, ideally speak with someone about the immigration part of it, or ask them if they are able to get you an appointment at the embassy. And if they say no, we don't do that, that's already like a big red flag that you should probably not do that you're getting scammed. So of course I would need to know more about your situation. Maybe there is some chance for you, because I don't think in Qatar there are quotas, but it also depends on how long you have been living there. what kind of residence permit you have, where are you from. So, but again, like getting a visa for the Czech Republic is generally very difficult unless you are from one of the safe countries that can come here without a visa for up to 90 days. So if you come here, if you can come here based on your nationality for 90 days and you don't need a short-term visa, then you're pretty safe to get any type of visa or residence permit. But if you need a short-term visa to even visit the Czech Republic, most likely you will get scammed if you're getting any work permits or employment contracts or anything like that. Seasonal work, that's like the total like scam in my opinion. So just don't do it, or before you do it, ask some questions. Shahriar Manihar, sir, do you know any employment agency and company who's hiring foreign candidate in the Czech Republic? That's exactly what I was talking about. Even if I knew, I would definitely not recommend it without first consulting in like about if you can even like if you get an employment contract or a job offer, if you can ever use it and you can ever get a visa, because in many cases companies will provide you with an employment contract, even accommodation contract. They will give you all the papers you need, but you might never be able to use it because there are quotas at your embassy and you will just never apply. So you've just wasted months of your life and whatever amount of money. So definitely we don't do this kind of service. Like we don't promise anyone like from India or Pakistan or like any other countries a job in the Czech Republic, because getting a job is easy. Getting a visa based on the job, that's a completely different story. So we don't do this. And I definitely recommend, before you decide to pay someone to get you an employment contract, like first check if you ever can even get a visa. Subhash, hello sir, how are you doing? I hope you remember me. I collected the visa at the embassy. I'm coming to the Czech Republic in September. That's perfect. Happy to hear that. Happy to hear that the visa was approved, and happy to see you here. Omar, good evening. It's been a while. How are you doing? I'm doing fine. How are you? How are you doing? Waiting for the result. Engineer Liban, how can I know the status of my application? Well, if you have an application number, you can check it online. I've made a video about that as well. So if you go to my channel and just find or look for checking the status or application status, whatever, something like that, you will find a whole video about that. But if you have a number, you can put it into like the online system and it tells you denied, approved, in process. So it's not really helpful, because if it's in process, nothing changes. You know it's in process because you haven't heard anything else. If it's denied, you will be notified by the embassy. If it's approved, you will be notified by the embassy. So checking it online, I know it gives you like some sense of control and some like maybe relieves the stress a bit of waiting, that you can check it twice a day and then you maybe see something not happening or whatever, but it doesn't really change anything. If you get approved, the embassy will let you know. If you get denied, the embassy will let you know. If you're in process, you're in process. Jalal Hussein, hello my friend, I just want to ask you, I applied for a residence permit for purpose of study, waiting for the decision now. In case I got a denial, can you help me appeal through your office? Two things. First, we do not really do appeals as a service. We would only do it for some denied clients of ours. If we had any like that, we usually don't get denials, but in case we did get a denial, we would do it for our clients, but we don't do it for like clients who are not ours. And one of the main reasons is that if you got denied, the chances of appealing it successfully, the decision is pretty low. You can only appeal the decision of the Ministry of the Interior if they made a mistake. So if there was some process mistake, that they forgot about some of the documents you submitted, or they lost some document, or it took them longer than the law says it should have taken them. So in these cases, you can like appeal something. But if it's just a denial because they didn't believe you want to study here, they didn't believe that you want to do a business here, or they didn't believe your marriage was real or whatever, then you can hardly appeal it. it's better to resubmit the application usually. For me, I broke my ankle 2 days ago. Okay. Hope you're fine. At least your hands are fine. That's good. But hopefully you'll get better soon. What did you do? Tell me. Did you kick anyone? Ragan Elhami, so in approximately how many days the paper shipped from Egypt and the decision maker start work on the papers and the number for tracking the results till my file doesn't found, and it was on July 1st. Well, it depends. I would say from embassies outside of Europe, that would be something between 2 to 3 weeks before you can actually track the application, before someone starts working on it. But it depends, because honestly, different embassies have different systems. They usually don't send it every day. Like that's today 5 people applied and they DHL 5 applications. They might do it once a week, or they might do it twice a week. So it depends. Then also depends on when it gets to the ministry, because if it gets there on Monday, it's very likely that during the week they will start working on that. If it gets there on Thursday, Friday, probably they will not, and they will start working on that sometimes next week. So it depends, but I would say generally 2 to 3 weeks. Yazan Amri, is it enough that the accommodation for family reunification visa is just contract with the husband name only? Technically, yes. If it's husband and wife, potentially kids, then one of the names is by the law enough. But I would probably not really risk it, because in the best case, gets approved, no questions asked. In the worst case, gets denied. In the most likely case, they will request some additional proofs or documents. Plus, anyway, if you're applying, if you have only one original, you anyway need to make a notarized copy of that to be able to use it. So I think it's just easier if you ask your landlord to sign the proof of accommodation for you, or if you just put the spouse's name into the lease agreement to avoid any problems. Technically, it's possible, but I would personally not really recommend it to any of our clients to use that. I would definitely go any other route than this. Hudhaifa Al-Hamad, I mean a Czech university graduate. Can I go back to Czech to work as Czech speaker? I don't really know what you mean. So you lived here, you studied here, then you left, and then you want to come back. If you no longer have any valid visa or residence permit, then you will need to apply for a new visa or residence permit. So you can do it, of course, but then it depends on which one you apply. So if you want to apply for an employee card, you first need to find a job, which might be a bit difficult if you're not here. And the fact that you might have free access to the labor market might not really change much on that. So yes, of course, you can always come back to the Czech Republic. You can try applying for some new visa, but the question is how easy it's gonna be or not. How many days maximum it takes to get student visa? Maximum, I would say, until the Earth is until the Earth explodes or is eaten by a black hole. Officially, the ministry has 60 days, but sometimes they approve it within 2 weeks. Sometimes they approve it exactly on the 60th day. Sometimes it takes 6 months to get it approved. So you never know, because it depends on where you submitted the application, when, if the documents were correct or not, what school you applied with, what is your accommodation, all that. So officially they have 60 days, but officially doesn't really mean anything for the ministry. Suvash, what do you think about my scenario? How did they approve my student visa without an interview? What could be the reason? Well, I guess it depends on the circumstances. Maybe if your school is good and then the documents you submitted were good. Maybe if you were in the student regime, or maybe just someone didn't want to be bothered. So it depends, but definitely be happy you're one of the few who don't do interviews. Ragham Elhami, yes, and there is no appointments. Yes, some people still applying for 8 months ago. Yeah. Doodle Pips, hello Jan, I applied for long-term residence permit for study purpose from Istanbul. However, it's been 1 month and my visa status still not found. Is that a normal or should I worry? Yeah, I talked about it some minutes ago. That can happen. Yeah, because the embassy does not make the decision. They just take the documents, then they wait. When they collect enough applications, they physically ship the documents to the Czech Republic. The shipping can take a couple of weeks. That can take 2-3 weeks maybe before it gets delivered to the Czech Republic. And then it needs to go through all the levels at the Ministry of the Interior. So it can take a month, no problem. So I would not worry too much about that. Jesse and no. I'm footballer. I have an invitation for trail, so I want to ask how can I get appointment for Czech Republic for a short-term visa. We don't really do short-term visas, but in most countries, short-term visas are governed by not by embassies but VFS. So maybe check the VFS website, and if your country is there, you book an appointment through the VFS. If it's not and you need to book it through an embassy, then just follow the scheduling system described at the website of the embassy. Engineer Liban, I'm Ethiopian. I applied student visa in June. What is the chance of approval? Well, I understand, guys, that you want to know this, that you would like me to say, yeah, you will 90% get it, or you will not get it by 5% chance or whatever. But it's like if I ask you, okay, what will I enjoy my time in Ethiopia? Well, that's hard to say because you don't know what I'm into. Maybe I hate nature, so I probably will not be impressed by the nature of Ethiopia, or maybe I will get injured, or maybe something will happen and I will not enjoy it at all, or maybe everything will be perfect, the weather will be perfect, people I meet will be nice, all that, so I will enjoy that. It depends on so many things. So I don't know what documents you submitted. I don't know what school you study. I don't know what you said during the interview. So I don't know if your documents were correct or if you maybe made some mistakes in the application. So I cannot tell you how high chances of approvals you have. I'm sorry. Jalal Hussein, thanks a lot, my friend. Appreciate it. My pleasure. Petr Čech, I did not inform the Ministry of Interior of the change in employer, and now I want to renew my employee card. Will they agree to renew it? Well, it depends on what kind of employee card you have. If you have the standard one, dual employee card, then that will be a problem because you will be submitting the new employment contract, and you cannot work at the new position because you haven't officially changed the employer with the ministry. So that's one thing. If you have the non-dual employee card, meaning you have free access to the labor market, they might potentially accept it, but they might fine you for not reporting it in time. Because if you have a non-dual employee card, you need to report it within 3 days, like the end of previous employment and the start of the new one. You need to report it within 3 days from when it happens. Elon Panda, if my student regime visa denied, can I reappeal again? Again, appeal probably makes no sense, but reapply again, that's fine. And there are so many questions. So I said 20 minutes, it's almost 25 now, so I will finish the questions with Zafar Zain style vlogs. He asked 2 questions, so I will get there, and that's where I will stop the live stream. So Sajan STH, sir, in my work permit I should be there in Czech Republic this July, but here in Qatar, MBC will open every 3 months, and my agency said that I will get an appointment this coming August. What you think, sir? Will I get the visa? I have 2-year contract in work permit. Again, that's hard to say. I have no information about your case, so it's very hard to say. Depends on the agency. Depends if you ever get an appointment. Depends what the contract says, because if the contract says that you tentatively start in July, and then you don't start until January, that might potentially be a problem. If there is a special formulation saying that you can start anytime after July, might be fine. So it's very difficult to say if you will get approved or not, because I have no information about your case. Jerry, we miss you. How much we should be making to apply for freelancing residence permit? Well, this is a bit complicated question or a bit complicated answer. Okay, so you have another questions about different topic. Okay. How much you need to be making depends on your situation. Mainly, it depends on how much you pay for your flat, what's your rent, and if the ministry knows that, and also how many people there are in a household, because there is a calculation of something called the livable minimum, which is like a theoretical amount one person needs to survive in the Czech Republic for a month. And that's different based on your age. So for small kids, it's the lowest. For bigger kids, it's higher, blah, 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 blah. So that you need to combine all these together. So for wife, it will be 4,500. For a husband, it will be 4,000. Then for a kid, it will be 3,500. For another kid, it will be 3,200, whatever. So you need to combine this. And then either you add your real rent, whatever you pay. If you pay 12,000, good. If you pay 35,000, they will count with 35,000. If they don't know how much you pay, they will take some general numbers, and those are also different based on the number of people living in the family, in the household. So it's kind of, I cannot tell you one number because it depends on a couple things. But for the freelancing residence permit, that's even more complicated because it depends if you have done your taxes and how, or if you haven't done the taxes and how you can prove your real income, and if you have one company you work with or you have more. So it's a bit complicated. Omar Designs, thank you. Nope, I just fell off the stairs, but thank you for wishing me to be healthy. That sounds odd that you just fell from the stairs. You were doing something weird, I'm sure. Zafar Zain, hi. I want to work in Europe countries. Well, probably choose a different country than the Czech Republic, because I talked about it a lot in the beginning of the live stream. If you were not here, please, like when I finish the live stream, watch the recording, because many people get scammed trying to get like employment contracts and employee cards or seasonal permit, seasonal work permits or visas to the Czech Republic. So definitely be careful, and there are definitely easier countries to get into in Europe than the Czech Republic. And Shalu Singh, is there any free Czech learning classes online? Because some classes are running in Prague free of cost, but it's offline. I don't really know about any online. What you can do, there is this official, if you're preparing for the permanent residency exam, you can go to the website of the exam, and they have some like dummy tests, like mock tests, whatever, like where you can try. So you can probably learn from that as well a bit. But there are different apps where you can learn. But the question is how much is for free. I believe Duolingo, for example, is for free. Like, so you can try with Duolingo, but how useful it is, that's questionable. And there are other applications. Like, for example, we work with Czech Time. I believe it's czecktime.cz, which we also created some like words connected to immigration, like vocabulary, and they usually have some parts for free, but if you want to dig deeper into that, you have to pay. So there are definitely ways to learn Czech online, but I don't think like, or I don't know about any that would be free, like to use completely, or some online classes. Maybe yes, maybe some schools do online classes, maybe some NGOs do online language classes, but I'm not aware of that. So that's it for now, guys. I see that there are still questions, but as I mentioned, I was supposed to be here for 20 minutes. It's 30 almost. So I said that I would finish with Zafar Zain, and that's what I'm doing. But I will do this open live stream again, so you can join again. And thank you very much for being here today. And then I will see you again Monday, Thursday, until the end of the world. Good night, guys.